Hello all you beautiful people. And to every one of you that's been commenting on the channel, I really appreciate your comments and your encouragement as I'm just really new at this, only having been at it for a year. So today I'm going to make another semi-bargain meal that goes quite quickly and is a favorite of ours. So I'll just get started. So the recipe that I'm making today is called chicken bacon ranch pasta, and there's probably lots of recipes for it on the internet, but this one particular one came to us from Niece Stephanie, who lives in Idaho, and I saw her saying how good the recipe was that she had tried, and I asked her for the recipe because at the time we were a billet family for our local junior level of hockey, and those young men can eat and they want pasta all the time to power them up, and lean meat. So this recipe works really good for that. I've got a pot bubbling on the stove over here, and I'm just going to add some pasta to that pot, just 2 cups of uncooked pasta to the water. And this is penne precooked. I don't know if I'm supposed to show the brand, but this is the one with the little kind of ribs on it. And this works great for this recipe because it helps to hold the sauce to the noodles. So I'm just going to throw that into the pot. Now while the pasta's cooking, I'm going to move on to the next step. And I have a pound of bacon here, and it was in my defense, it was the only pound of bacon that really had a good price on it today when I went to the grocery store. So I'm not going to show the brand because it's definitely, not something I would normally recommend. So when you go into the deli section, or the spot in your store where they keep the bacon, if you pick up a pound of bacon and it's stiff because it has all its fat and no water in there. So that would be the bacon I would normally choose, because I know that I'm paying for just the product itself. This bacon has had water added to it, and that's how come it's so soft. It keeps the packaging really soft, and when I open this up, the water is going to be evident in the bag. Oh no, what did I do with the scissors? Anyway, I want you to think about that the next time you go to buy bacon. Pick it up, and if it's stiff like a board, it's had no water added to pump up the volume, and the stuff that may be bendy and squishy, no technical terms, I don't know what they might be, but they have water added to the packaging. So let me just grab my scissors and get that open. So this recipe goes really quick. Oh yes, I need to remind myself to stir. So the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. For this recipe, I need 6 slices of bacon. And it's just drippy and limp, but like I said, it's what I could get today, and sometimes that's what you have to do. And I'm just going to set that over there, and I'm just going to cut this into kind of bite-sized pieces. Maybe I'll move the camera so you can have a better shot at what I'm doing. Well, not quite yet. So it's been a busy week around our place, and so having the ability to pull out some of these quick and easy recipes is, such a bonus, because we, you make bad decisions when you go to the, when you don't have a plan. And where we live, we're really close to several fast food places, and we try to shy away from making those kind of decisions, but sometimes that's not the case. Now, I'm just working with an electric frying pan here on my counter because I thought it might be easier for you to see what's going on. So I'm going to throw the bacon loosely into the pan, just separating it as I go along. And this is really probably the most difficult part of this recipe. This recipe also turns out to be not such a bad value, I don't think. Never mind that it's quick and easy. I've taken a shortcut today, and I'll explain that in a moment when I get all this bacon frying up here. Takes a while to get all the water off of it too. You'll see it steaming to get the water off. I'm sorry, it's a pet peeve of mine. I didn't think there was any good reason to ever add water to bacon. Believing that people are smart. And no reason for that. So let's see, what will I stir that with? Oh, I'll stir it with the same spoon from the pot is what I'll do. And these poor spoons, they got really stained the other day because I was making huckleberry jelly, huckleberry jam. And it certainly does stain the spoons and anything it touches. In fact, there's still a bit of blue stain on the countertop, which will take me a while to get out. It's one of those berries that is definitely something you don't want to be wearing a good blouse when you're making, because it's sticky and it splatters all over the place. So we'll just carry on. I'm going to stir that pasta one more time, and I will be right back when this is browned. So I was going to fill you in a little bit on our time as hockey billets for the Golden Junior Rockets in Golden, BC. We were involved with this organization for about 12 years as billet families, and during that time we had 39 or 40 boys go through our house, and it was always a very, very busy place, as you can imagine. These young men are 16 to 20 years old, athletes all, and man, did they eat. So I was always looking for things that would satisfy their big appetites and things that were economical for me to cook, and so that we could spread our billet money as far as possible. But to give you an idea, one time we had five boys in the house, and so we could go through 2 family-size boxes of cereal and 8 liters of milk a day. That was not uncommon. So yeah, we learned some tricks, and this being one of them. And this was like the boys' favorite food. When I said I was making this or pulled pork, they were always to the table on time. This, of course, satisfied all their needs as far as having heavy carbohydrates, which is something that they wanted before they play a game, and lean proteins in it. So I'm going to move the camera because I want you to see there is not much oil in this pan at all. So I'm getting it just browned up here pretty good. I don't like any pieces that are kind of still really floppy. And every bit of the brown on here adds flavor to the recipe, which is really nice. If you're anticipating it, or if you find you've got a lot of oil in your pan, then do consider removing it. But for this purpose, I'm not going to. Now here's where the quick part comes in. This chicken bacon ranch, normally at this point I would pull all the bacon out and I would put 2 cups of raw chicken breast in there and grill it or cook it until it was cooked through. But when I went to the grocery store today to pick up 2 chicken breasts, they were $10. For 2 breasts, they were $10.79. So I went over to the deli section and I found a prepared chicken, and I purchased a whole prepared cooked chicken for $10.99. And I've got my 2 cups of chicken for this recipe, and I have enough chicken left over for my husband and I for our lunches tomorrow. So really, it's going to serve me for 2 full meals. So I'm going to put this in now. In goes the chicken, and we're going to give it a mull around. You could add at this time, and I think I will, maybe a tablespoon of butter to the recipe, just because it feels like it's a little dry. There we go. That ought to help a little bit, because it turns out the bacon was pretty lean. It just took a long time to get the water off of it. Oh boy, that water. I'm not sure that companies should be allowed to do that. There we go. And now at this point, we're going to make a couple of additions to this. I have 2 tablespoons of flour in here. And I'm just going to mix that in really good. And I'm just going to give it a quick sprinkle of onion powder. And keep moving it around. And then here's where the ranch comes in. I'm using today, for the purposes of this video, just a plain ranch, powdered ranch dressing. Normally I would use my own homemade ranch dressing powder, but I wanted you to see how easy and quick this can go. If you're interested in the homemade version of this powder, you could definitely check out my recipe for it, and I'll try and remember to link it on the end of the video here. So keep stirring and get it stirred in really good here. We want everything well coated. And then we are going to add 2 cups of milk. So there's 1. And just about 2. Now, that was close. Let's see if I'm going to have to add the rest of it. We'll just stir and see what it looks like. I was pretty generous with the flour. It's probably 2.5 tablespoons of flour. You can double this recipe or triple it. Just keep in mind that for every 1 cup of milk, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of flour. And that will thicken it up for you. Now, there we go. It's getting really bubbly. I think I can turn this down just a titch maybe, because I don't think I need it quite at 400 at this point. And I can see it's getting thickened up. If it gets too thick, well, we'll just add a little more of the cooking water from the pasta. I won't be a vigorous strainer. Now, before I add the pasta into this skillet, this is a skillet meal, I guess, not a casserole really, but it comes up the same way. I'm going to add maybe a cup or a cup and a half of cheddar cheese in this. Now, you can make this without the cheddar cheese. I'm sure that I've done that in the past. When I didn't have cheese to add to it, it was perfectly fine. But if you do have it, then yes, Definitely add about a cup to it, I would say. And then stir till that's just all melty. If that's even a word. Well, I guess it is now because I just said it. And then the last thing that has to go in here to complete this dish is the pasta. I'm just going to drain off the pasta quick. I'm going to reserve some of the water into the pot in case I need it. And then I'm going to right into the skillet. So here we are. And this is ready for our dinner. I've made this a bit early, so chances are I may have to add a little more milk to it just to thin it out, because you have to remember that the pasta will soak up a lot of the moisture in there as it sits. So hopefully the hubby's not late coming home tonight, and we'll have this with a bit of Caesar salad and made dinner in record time. And the cost was probably around $10, $12, and there's definitely enough here to serve 4 people. So leftovers tomorrow as well. So 2 meals for $12 for 2 people is, in my books, is pretty reasonable. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, that you would share it with your friends, that you would like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that a lot. Take care, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.